What's up, guys? Welcome back to another week where we talk about all things real estate related. So like always, any questions you guys have about the Ottawa market, about investing, about life as a real estate agent, please put in the comments below. I'll make sure to make a video about it in the future. If you haven't done it yet, hit the subscribe button on YouTube. Make sure you're notified of all our videos going forward. Today, we're going to do my favorite video, which is our monthly market update. And for those of you who haven't been watching the market, you won't believe the prices that we're seeing right now. So like always, first we're going to look at the market year over year, February 21 versus February 2022. So the average home price has actually increased by 19% from $591 of last year to $705 this year. The amount of homes sold stayed about the same, with 1731 last year and at 1744 this year. The average days on market has gone down by 3 days, and the average sold to ask ratio went from 110 last year to 112 this year. So that's a look at the average home price overall, but I know a lot of people are specifically looking at different areas. Like, so what is a townhome? What is a detached home? Or specifically, how much has a bungalow increased in the last year? So the average price of a detached home in Ottawa has gone up almost 23% in the last 12 months. Today, the average price is $806,000. The average price of a townhome has gone up 15%, and the average price sits today at $657,000. And finally, the average price of a bungalow has gone up almost 20% and sits today at $685,999. All right, so now we've looked at the average home price year over year. Now let's take a look at what's really going to shock you, which is the average home price month over month. Well, as you can see, as the average home price has gone up 13% since March of last year, the actual average price of a home went from $577 in December of last year to $705 in February of this year. Now we can take a look at the average days on market and the average sold to ask ratio. This one's going to be a big one for buyers in the area who are looking at the home prices and wondering what they're actually going to sell for. So as you can see, in the last couple of months, when the market's heated up, the average days on market has dropped from 25 to only 15. And the old average sold to ask went from 103 in December up to 112%. So one of the biggest questions I always get from buyers is, what is the home actually going to sell for? What are the other homes selling for over asking? And so what we can look at is the average being 112% of asking price, being if it was listed at $650, the home's going to sell for $715. But we can't actually evaluate homes this way. We have to evaluate homes based on the comps. What are the most recent sales in the area? And that's what we can base on what the home's actually going to sell for. And now for all your buyers right now who are watching this and you've got your head in your hands wondering what are you supposed to do, now is when I have some good news for you. The thing that we need to track right now is taking a look at the actual units sold. So while the average home price has skyrocketed in the last 2 months, we take a look at the actual percentage of homes sold, and we're going to see a little bit of a different story. So as you can see, that while homes went up over $100,000 in average price in the last 2 months, when we take a look at the actual amount of units sold in January at 1179 and in February 1744, you can see that in the next coming months, we're actually going to see a lot more homes sell based on last year. Last year in March alone, we saw over 3,000 homes sell, and close to that in both April and May. Or another way to look at it is every other month of the year, we see more homes selling. So why is this good news for buyers? Everything works on supply and demand. And as the supply has been extremely low and demand being high, we've seen the prices skyrocket. But supply is going to be increasing every single week, every single month for the next little bit here. And when we take a look at the market trend of last year, we start to see a little bit of a different picture. Now let's take a look at the average price of homes sold, not for the last 12 months, but for the last 13 months. And that's going to show you that the prices actually went up last winter, but peaked in March and slowly declined until the rock bottom in August, and slowly making their climb back up. And that exactly correlates with the amount of units sold. As more homes came into the market last year and sold, we saw prices drop. And then when less homes started coming on the market, we're seeing them increase. Now this is all taking a look at the average market of Ottawa overall, and this goes across all of the Ottawa board. So like always, I like to hone in on certain areas, starting with the Longfields neighborhood in Barrhaven, and specifically townhomes. So again, looking at the last 13 months, you can see that the price peaked in March, but you see a more drastic decline in price until the bottom in June, and then a slow rise, and then a steeper rise in the last couple of months. But to predict the future, we have to look at the past. And if we're looking at the market trends here, I suspect we're going to see something very similar happen this year. Another area where we do a lot of sales is Orleans. So now let's take a look at the average home price in Orleans and what we've seen that do in the last 13 months. You're going to see a very similar story here, except instead of peaking in March, like in Barrhaven, we see it peak in May. Well, after May, we see it decline. And of course, in the last few months, we've seen it skyrocket. Again, if you're looking for my prediction, I think we're going to see a very similar trend this year that we saw last year. So unfortunately, I don't have a crystal ball and I can't predict the future. But looking at the trends of the past, I would say if you're looking to sell your home in the next few months, you might want to get on it sooner than later. And if you're looking to buy, I would say don't panic, wait it out. The inventory is coming and you're going to see a better deal coming as well. Hope you find this video helpful. Like always, any questions you guys have, shoot me a message, put it in the comments below. And thanks again for watching. I'll see you next week.